before we can discuss whether Trump or Netanyahu agreed to a particular position, I'd like to ask what evidence allows us to say someone actually agreed. I think several different claims are being treated as equivalent when they aren't necessarily equivalent, that a conversation occurred, that a topic was discussed, that concerns were expressed, and that an agreement was reached. Okay? So, what I would say with that is, first of all, just to refresh everybody's memory, when we have quoted dialogue, it's in news reconstruction. It's not automatically verbatim speech unless it's explicitly confirmed as a transcript or a recording. And that's not a political claim. That's reporting category distinction. So it applies whether the source is left, right, neutral. And so also multiple repetition by various media sources when they're trying to get ratings and do headlines, that doesn't convert reconstructed reporting into verbatim confirmation. It only shows circulation of the same source material. So we went to the Pod Force 1, I think it's called, Pod Force 1, Miranda Devine, conversation, with about that Trump had, with PM Netanyahu, the report from Axios. So first, she led with characterizing it 5 different ways. So she loaded a big question and she actually trailed off and was continuing to speak. And Trump basically stopped in the middle of that and started answering. So she characterized Trump as being angry with him. She added that he said, "Are you effing crazy?" ? And then, "What are you effing doing?" And then, "I just helped you stay out of jail." And she said, "Is that true? Did you speak to him in those terms?" So I think this is where things get confusing, because in ordinary English, terms often refer to, they can refer to a general manner, a framework, a subject matter, a character, a tenor of discussion, like terms of a contract, agreement. It literally doesn't tell us much except that something is getting agreed to. So when Trump is answering this, I noticed, I'm watching his body language, I'm watching what he does. He was really very in control and calm. He chose his words really carefully. He kind of looked down, which sent signals either like you're doing some concealment, you're holding something back, you're doing some privacy. Anyway, and he said, "I did," and she's trying to speak at the same time, and he said, I don't want to, wouldn't say angry. I was a little bit," and he pauses and he picks exactly the right word he wants. And he says, "perturbed." Perturbed means like concerned, like you're bothered, there's something unsettling for you. Okay, so he says, "and at his constantly fighting with Lebanon, like, at some point, I said, Bibi, we're going to have to stop this. We're going to stop this." He kept emphasizing the word we. He said 4 times in this conversation, after kind of critically distancing himself from this, "I'm angry," and not acknowledging anything about, "I said these swear words, I said blah, 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 jail," all this kind of stuff. He said 4 times, emphasized how much they were in agreement and were working together. He kept stressing the word we. He kept stressing another few times that they had this rock solid, very good relationship, and that how much he liked him and how much he worked well with him. So even CBS, when they were looking at that, they said, when they were asked to characterize it, they said, well, he confirmed some of the details, but we should just let viewers hear him out for themselves. And their analysis was that he had a very strong relationship, like the conversations in recent administration of agreement and disagreement. There can be frustration with the president acknowledging that, but generally the 2 main keys that they noted were that Israel has a right to defend itself, Iran's regime is a major threat, and that relationship between these two are rooted in agreement over those 2 things. So we saw something similar when Netanyahu was approached. So you have a reporter kind of jovially, like she's smiling, she's doing a preamble, and then she goes with the headline grabber because it's very exciting, gets ratings. It's like really exciting for viewers. The president confirmed that he said, "You're effing crazy." He actually didn't. That's not what was said. So we didn't hear him say that he said those words. He agreed that I said those words. And so he's asked Netanyahu how he reacted to the call. And so the prime minister twice said, "I'm not going to get into details about the call. We've had thousands of conversations, lots of conversations." He was asked how he reacted. And he said, again, like, if you think this is a crisis, it's not. Like, you should hear like other conversations. He emphasized all of their agreements. He basically echoed things. He was very calm, very at ease. We are in agreement about the nuclear program in Iran, that we want it finished, and that has to be. Iran's regime cannot be a threat to Israel, the Middle East, America. We're going to expand the circle of peace, Abraham Accords. Like, he compares this to family and saying you have tactical disagreements sometimes that can occur. You can get frustrated, but we solved these disagreements as great friends, and that he's been the greatest friend to Israel that Israel has ever had in the White House. He immediately stopped somebody when she pushed again and tried to say, has the relationship shifted? This is an attempt at drama and excitement. And he's like, with no hesitation, no, that he's been a great friend to him, mutual respect. He even said he's very vocal about the whole absurdity about this fake trial. So I just want to go back to the key issue is the phrase, I spoke in those terms. It's not the same as saying, yes, I said those exact words. Yes, that quotation is accurate. Yes, every statement attributed to me is correct. Yes, I used the specific profanity reported. Yes, he even distanced himself from like the characterization of like, I'm angry, ooh, angry Trump. So it's just, you can have examples of things, saying things like, we discuss something in economic terms, we discuss something in military terms, the negotiations proceeded on terms, I wouldn't put it in those terms. Like, terms, like, it just does a lot of work. So I would not have us do that and like just fall into this trap of noise with media cycles and spin. So that's all. Just want to, and I think it's really important. I would just add, it's really, really important to try to clarify our premises before we start saying, okay, well, this happened and this happened and this happened. Like, what was actually agreed to? What is he being asked? How loaded of a question? And then, of course, there's strategic reasons and political speech. This could have been performative. It could have been something loosely reconstructed. Somebody should have an axe to grind. I find it really interesting that the three people in Israel that seized on this are exactly who you would predict. Oh, look, Naftali Bennett on the, and also Yair Lapid, who, guess what, want to take his place, do not want him in office. Who else? Ben Gvir, in his thing, but catering to his base. He has an agenda too. He's got to talk to his base. Make them happy. I doubt Netanyahu even cares about that. But that's kind of like, we don't even know the exact actual source. So I just wanted to say that because it was something that bothered me when I was listening to all the spin about this and interpretations of it.
Okay, Jeffrey has a response.
You're muted.
Okay, you're muted and you're lagging.
Jeff, unmute yourself.
Okay, we'll come back to him. Okay, Samantha. Is there she doesn't have microphone today. Okay, she put a 2. I think she's going to tell me what to read, but she hasn't told me what to read yet. So I'm stalling for time.
So
I don't have any other.
I think Jeff says he's okay. Yeah, go ahead now.
Okay.
Can you guys hear
Jeffrey,
me?
go ahead.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
So outside of the points that that's we brought up, there's other operational elements and legal elements to Axios claiming they had access to classified and or discussions between President Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. It brings up 5 key issues. One is 18 U.S.C. 793, which is the gathering, transmitting, or losing defense information, and it prohibits the unauthorized retention, communication, delivery, or transmission of national defense information to someone who's not entitled to receive it. 18 U.S.C. 798, disclosure of classified information. Again, same thing. 18 U.S.C. 641, which is public money, property, or records. In this case, it would be the records of what people said. 18 U.S.C. 1001, which is just making materially false statements. And finally, Executive Order 13526, which was actually put into law by Obama's administration. So it's not like I went to Right Wingers Are Us, which is there's certain rules and requirements and things that people need to meet to be able to legally send, receive, or store classified information. So outside of all the other stuff that was aptly mentioned by Sophie, right, all the broader geopolitical, geostrategic mechanizations and all of that, all very important. I'm saying there's a reason those laws exist. Yeah. That kind of stuff is being used by our enemies and anybody else to undermine our efforts to eliminate the Mullah regime remnants. And that is indeed, that investigation is being pursued for good reason.
My name is Armin Navabi. I'm an Iranian political analyst with decades of experience fighting the Islamic regime inside and outside of Iran. Make sure you follow me for more, and also make sure you join our discussion group. I'm there almost every single day. Come talk to me there and the rest of the people there in our group calls. It's a great place to meet and talk to people who like talking about politics. The link is in the description and or in the bio. You could also get there by scanning the QR code on the screen. See you there.